Okay, so we got some automotive job here. So what we are trying to do is we have a cracked thermostat. When I removed this is a 1998 Nissan Frontier. It's a great work truck, and you can see it's our farm truck. It's very good. It's very good truck, low maintenance. It runs forever almost, like no problems. So it has a cracked thermostat, and I only realized when I removed it because engine was not cooling, it was overheating. So how do you replace a cracked thermostat housing? Sorry, not cracked thermostat housing. How do you replace it? Okay, that's what I'm trying to show you. So first, here on this side we have the radiator and the shroud for the fan here, which is the radiator cover kind of thing. So this is the shroud for the fan. That's the radiator, you see. So radiator comes out first, and then the fan shroud comes out next. Before that, you have to, so for the radiator to come out, this is how it holds the radiator in. There's a clamp here, there's a clamp here. I took it out, and all you have to do is once you take these two things off, the radiator will come off, and then for the fan shroud, which is that cover for the fan, you just wiggle it out, it comes out. But you can't take the fan cover out first because there's no space, so you have to take the radiator out and the fan cover out. And before that, you have to make sure the hoses to the radiator are unhooked. I had to unhook this hose, that hose. So that hose is on the top side. This hose on the bottom side, you have to remove from the radiator because the radiator has two inlets. One is the top, and one is on the bottom. Okay, so there are two inlets for the radiator. So when you unhook that two of the hoses out, the radiator is free, and then this one from the coolant reservoir, you have to unhook that one, right? Radiator and the cover comes out. Then you have this system here. You have the belt. You have to remove the belt, or at least loosen the belt. There are two belts that you have to at least loosen, right? So there's this belt that goes in the pulley system. So you have to make this nut loose. Once you make it loose and make this one loose, this pulley nut, the pulley will slide down on that little bracket. It will slide down, making the belt loose. All right, once that is loose, you have to loosen this bolt. And this belt, I did not have to take it out. All I had to do is make it loose. So once you loosen this bolt, this bracket, see that it slides. So once it slides, it will make this belt loose. Once it's loose, you can access the thermostat housing. The thermostat housing is right there, right behind that belt. That is the thermostat housing. You see how it looks? That's where thermostat goes, and this is the thermostat. You see, that's thermostat, and that is the housing that is cracked. You see the cracked portion? That's the cracked portion of the thermostat housing that was leaking, and somebody put some glue there trying to stop leak, but that did not work that long. So you see how it is cracking. This is the new thermostat housing. So new thermostat housing is like this. All right, and then on the new thermostat housing, you also have to buy the gasket. This gasket, you have to buy it. After you buy it, because there's very tiny room there to work, it's very tiny room and it's hard to get to. You have to, I use some glue there. Just a normal glue. It doesn't have to be strong. Just a little bit glue on the corners to make sure this gasket stays on there when you're installing. It doesn't move around. So once you glue it a little bit, just a tiny bit, you can put the thermostat in first. The thermostat goes in the housing. I'll show you. All right, so thermostat goes in the housing just like that. Just like that, it goes in the housing. Sorry, it goes in the thermostat, that hole right there. That's how it goes. And then, since there is not much room to work, you have to put this on the hose first. Install this thermostat housing onto the hose first. Make sure this is lined up. You may have to make a little mark with a marker so that this housing is lined up with the hose. See, the hose has a specific design. You see the design of the hose? So make sure it's lined up correctly. Otherwise, if you not line it correctly, it will be like crooked. And once you put it in, the hose will not line up with the radiator inlet. So make sure you put some kind of marking before you take it out. Put it, the new one in, clamp it in, and then it goes like that. It goes just like that. The hose will come out. So you had to put the hose before you put it in because there's no space to work. You can't see it from the top. It has to, you have to go to the bottom and only then you can see it. And you see that's how it goes on the thermostat right there. And there are 3 bolts. There are 3 bolts in there, on there. Those 3 bolts is where you would put the thermostat housing on. So that's how it will work. So yeah, so you have thermostat, the thermostat housing, you have the hose, right? All 3 things goes in right there in that hole, right there. Yep, so that's how it works. Okay, so let's get going with that. Once that is installed, you tighten put the belts on, make it tight. It has to be the right tightness on the belt. Means when you push it, it has to have maybe half an inch loose, not too much loose, just a half an inch or quarter inch loose, or slack. I would say slack on the belt, so it's not too tight. I forgot totally. You have to take the fan out. That's the fan that goes on there, the cooling fan. The cooling fan has to come out, and it has nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 nuts come out. So once you take the radiator, the fan cover, then you can go and remove the fan. Once you remove the fan, you can loosen the belts. Once you loosen the belts, you can get to the thermostat, take out the thermostat, and you need like a socket wrench. I have this socket wrench. That's what I use for taking it out, right there. So that's the socket wrench I use. So, and it works very well. That's the one I use for getting those thermostat bolt out. You can see the bolt. That's the nut for the thermostat housing. There are 3 of them that goes right into that hole, just like that. All right, so that's how. So let's put it back on. Okay, let's get going. I'm going to make a part 2 video for that because it'll take a little while for me to set everything together. So I'm going to take a part 2 video, okay? All right.